Absolute dynamite. Oh my goodness.
Oscar BEVIS for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. I'm here in Manchester with Mr. Dean Whyte here at Ultimate Boxer 6. How are you?
I'm good, how are you, buddy?
I'm alright. Bit of a mad one to get here, isn't it?
Oh, listen, a bloody nightmare.
Stood me up.
Sorry, mate. Took a bit longer. Got to get my glad rags on. You know what I mean?
Ultimate Boxer 6. We spoke about it before, obviously. We're about to see the final in probably about half an hour. Surprised by what you've seen so far? A couple of shocks, a couple of really good fights as well.
Very, very shocked. The guys who I thought was going to contest the final are all out. So Sokolowski, old school guy, power puncher, he's upset the apple cart quite a few times and beaten a few prospects. Jonathan Pilata from the manor looked strong, you know, from certain times. But you know what? I don't know. Maybe the bright lights got the better of him. I'm not sure. He didn't seem to let his hands go enough and seemed to be quite fatigued from the first round, but I think they just had the wrong game plan. I don't know what his corner was telling him. You know what I mean? He just wasn't letting his hands go. The other kid was proper game, caught him with some big shots, but Jonathan caught him with some big shots. Jonathan's got a great chin, he's got a great chin, but he just came up short. All he's got to do now is go back to the drawing board. A loss doesn't define you, but you know, he just got to go back to the drawing board and come again, that's it. But a lot of the great guys who I thought were going to win are out.
There we go, that's Ultimate Boxer for you. Saudi Arabia.
Absolutely.
Talk about the experience, what was it like?
Saudi was really good, you know. We was in good company, you know. Obviously we stayed in a great hotel. Obviously we was with Prince Khalid and a few other people. So it was a really good time. And I think they had a good turnout. It was better than it was, and it's a lot different from what I expected. Obviously I had perceptions of Saudi and I left with a different opinion. I like Saudi, the people are really great, they've got a lot of hospitality and they were really good and kind, and, you know what I mean? I went out and you know, they was very friendly, you know. As a foreigner, I thought, you know, like, oh, I can't do this, I can't wear that, I can't talk this, I can't say that. You know, like, I went there with so much different things and it's so much different than I actually thought. But a lot of people said, listen, if you came a year ago, 6 months ago, it was so much different and it's evolving and changing quite quickly. So it's one of them ones, you know. Now they've put on a history-defining card with Ruiz and Anthony Joshua, and I'm happy that my bro Dillian Whyte was part of that card to be, you know, like the thriller in Manila, the rumble in the jungle, and say we was part of the first Saudi record-breaking historic fight where Joshua got his belts back, Dillian got a great win, and just to be opening the floodgates to future fights and shows that are going to be there.
Let's talk about Dillian. Went the distance with Marius Wack. Pleased with sort of the performance. I mean, a lot of people have said that after everything that Dillian's had to sort of deal with, the media pressure and sort of the pressure from fans, that just sort of get back under the lights and get a win, sort of the main thing.
Yeah, of course, but you know, obviously performance sometimes to go out there and showcase skill is always paramount sometimes, but you know, listen, the win is the win, we move forward. Wack is a tough, durable guy and we knew that. Afterwards, Dillian was a bit upset, but listen, at the end of the day, we managed to get the win. And we've got to be proud of what we got, because you know, some guys could have came unstuck if they didn't have the heart, the desire and willpower. Like you said, he's been through a lot. He's been under a lot of immense stress, and only the day before that he was vindicated from all the pressure that he's been under, for the cloud of darkness that he's been under. So listen, as a team, as a family, and as everyone, we're just happy. We move on. Going into 2020, he's going to come back better, stronger than ever, and he'll be in shape, just like he was for the Rivas and the Chisora fight and previous fights. Obviously this one, he came in a little bit heavier than usual, but listen, make no bones, we're going into the 2020 and he's going to get his opportunity to fight for a world title. So we need to knuckle down and go and get ourselves mentally prepared, or him being the one, but I say us, because I've got to make sure I keep drumming it into his head and give him the information and advice a brother or anyone, team member wants to give him, you know what I mean? So I'm going to be right there with him and trying to push him and make sure he's the best he can be for 2020.
Obviously now mandated as the WBC's #1 challenger again after UCAD statement.
Yeah.
But you say 2020, it looks like he might even have to wait to 2021.
No, what you got to understand is, it's 2021, February is the last. It could be June or it could be September of 2020. Let's see what happens.
How hard will you guys be pushing for that? I imagine.
Do you know what? I think they're going to be lobbying it for quite hard and stuff. So let's see. But what we need to do is we try and get another couple fights in, or 1 or 2 fights in. But let's see how the situation goes. Well, if he can get out February, March, and they can get out again in summer, and then maybe the world titles in September, that would be brilliant. You know what I mean? But I'm sure him and his team and the guys who are there, they're very good at what they do, and they're going to be pushing. And I'm going to be trying to give him the advice, because I want to make sure he's physically and mentally prepared when he goes in there to do battle with the bronze bomber.
Right, let's move on to the main event. There's so many places we can start, but let's start with Andy Ruiz. When someone comes out post-fight and gives comments that they weren't motivated, they weren't putting in the training, they come in heavy, and you've got people like your brother who are waiting on a world title shot, it's sort of disappointing to see that sort of the lack of effort that he's putting in for a fight of that magnitude.
You know what? I could say absolutely, but you know what? We've seen it many times before in guys when they get to that magnitude of that level, that elite level, being the dominant unified champion of the world. I remember what's happened is he's gone back home to America, and then it's the whole game's changed for him. Mexico now has become all on his back. He's met the president, he's eating, he's drinking with people. He's in a whole different catalogue of people in terms of the A-listers of who is who. Canelo's, the president of Mexico, maybe the Drakes, the Montanas in America. You know that he's become the #1 guy on the list to go and be with, the heavyweight champion of the world. So all of that fame has accumulated to being an effect, and it's had a knock-on effect. This happened to loads of guys. I remember when Tyson was in his prime, he had a lot of issues and came on stock with Desiree Washington and other stuff. Robin Gibbons when he was married to. There were so many things that occurred, and if you're not mentally strong of mind, you can get sidetracked a bit. What we'll say is he can complain about, obviously he put on weight, but he still was fit enough to do the 12 solid rounds, and he took some big shots in there and managed to come through it. But listen, it's a lot for a young man to take on. He came up short. Let's see where he goes and what happens to him. But make no bones, he's a head of a fighter, and he still showed it in there in glimpses. When Joshua came to exchange, he showed him, listen, this is what happened last time when you came close, and he gave him a few decent digs. And Joshua was smart enough to stick to the game plan and just get the win, box long, and keep it smart.
How good of a fight is Ruiz and Dillian?
An absolute
Cracker,
barnstormer.
isn't it? Yeah.
It's such a barnstormer. Listen, their guys are going to be in the middle doing his thing, but I'd think, for me, you don't want to make it a 50-50 fight. You're going to have to fight and box, I think, to keep it, because you saw what the product is. Joshua boxed long, and you saw it. He couldn't cut the ring off. His feet was a bit too slow. He couldn't cut the ring. But at the same time, if you get that fight, listen, it will be a barnstormer. That would be a war of nutrition. But at the minute, what I look at for me is Andy Ruiz has had 2 world title shots. I wouldn't, me personally, if it was me, I wouldn't give him the opportunity, because at the end of the day, it's a fight. You haven't had your world title yet. Shot. So you'd want to get, I'd personally want my bro Dillian to get his world title shot, because it is a hard fight, and it's one of them fights. You're talking about a man who was just unified world champion. So he's right up there. But like he said, it's a hell of a fight. It'll be great, I think with those two, because they're going to be trading level.
Just finally on Joshua's performance.
Yeah, it was a great performance, man. He went out there and done what he did, and I'm happy that he won it. 2-time world champion. Now he's back in the UK. Dillian got the win, he got the win. And listen, we look forward to great fights in the UK, man. He's got a few mandatories. Hopefully he might fight Pulev and then Usyk, and then obviously Dillian might get his chance, Fury might get his chance. And there'll be good shots here for UK. Even we might be able to bring Wilder over if he stops bitching about this and that and that and this. He just needs to shut up. You know what I mean? He's complaining about stuff, but he's missing out on the great party and the money what he should be making. He's not making a lot of money because he keeps complaining about shit that are irrelevant. But listen, it is what it is. Credit to him as well, because he's a great champion. He's 43 fights undefeated, 42 knockouts. He's a beast. I can't say no more than that.
Will Dillian go for the a vacant belt? So say the WBO was one that Joshua vacated. Will Dillian push to look for a
I'm
fight
sure
for
the
that?
team will look at it. They will look at it. All options are open. Nothing's ruled out. You know what I mean? But at the minute, I think if it is vacant, the WBO, I believe Usyk and Chisora might be up next for that. But let's see what happens.
Right, Dean, thanks for giving me some of your time. I'll let you get back to it now. And catch you soon. Cheers, mate.